Hey y'all, welcome back to Stutz's Soapbox. I'm Stutz. If you're new here, thank you. If you're returning, also thank you. If you get anything out of this, if you like what I say, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. If you disagree or agree, leave a comment down below. You know, I can learn, we can all learn from it. This week has been an interesting week. Man, got judges, circuit judges, and I don't understand how they can get away with this. But both parties have been, judge shopping depending on who's in power, who's the president, and a circuit judge can put a squash on a national thing. Really? Yeah. I guess that's something that has to be looked into. It really does. I mean, they're circuit judges for districts, not the whole nation. That's that place in D.C. called the Supreme Court. Um, the appeals court in D.C. can do it, or could put a hamper right there, because that's in effect where it's coming from. But hey, back a while ago, I was tied in with the 3%ers, pretty strong. And we were always told we were violent. We're going to be violent. We were, man. If I disagreed with Obama, I was called a racist. You know, just because I disagreed with the man's policies, had nothing to do with the man himself. I was a Nazi. Now you got people scribing swastikas in the Teslas, but usually they're doing it to somebody else's car. They're doing it to other Democrats for most part, because 80% of Teslas are owned by Democrats. And on the left, because, hey, that was the green vehicle, man. Elon Musk was a hero. Now he's a Nazi, he's a villain. And all he's doing is identifying where the waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption is. I can understand why the good Democrats and Republicans, there's quite a few of them too, that are really mad, because they're taking away they're showing where the gravy train is. Why is everybody mad at Musk for identifying this waste of money? They can't account for where most of it goes anyway. And we're getting taxed on it. They always said the right side of the aisle was violent as hell. We were going to, but if you look at all the mass shootings lately, it's all been from the left. Go look at Portland, Oregon in 20, Seattle, the chop zone, Chaz, whatever you want to call it. That wasn't the right side of the aisle doing it. I was a part of that right side of the aisle militia movement. We never pulled off anything like that. Y'all are the violent ones on that left side, man. So don't come running no stuff. Hey, you right wingers are violent, and you can call me a right winger if you want. I don't care. If you think about it, right side, left side, two wings, one bird. Seriously. No, I'm a constitutional conservative. If it ain't in the Constitution, I don't care. You want to do it, that's fine. As long as it doesn't infringe on your neighbor's rights, my rights, feel free. But man, we got serious problems. What is it about Trump? What is it? Man deports a bunch of thug criminals, and the judge says bring them back. Excuse me? Hey, Sparky, I don't know about you, but I don't want them here. I don't want to house them. I don't want to, I don't want to house them here. They don't belong here. I got no problem with immigration. Like I said in the past, I got problems with illegal immigration. I don't care what country you're from. If you're here illegally, you're here illegally. And that's your first mistake because you broke the law coming in. So you're a criminal. I mean, I've been called all kinds of things. But one thing you can never call me is disloyal to this country. I believe in this country. Ain't none better. Everybody should think that way. Or go find that place that's better and stay there. Like all these celebrities that are leaving the United States because Donald Trump scares them. I don't know. Hey, as long as civilians own firearms, there ain't a whole lot government can do. If you think about it, we're the largest army in the world. American gun owners. And I just have my hunting rifles. Put meat on the table. But everybody that's got them, that adds up to a lot. The Minutemen. The Minutemen. They stood up to the British Army and kicked their ass. So do you honestly think a tyrannical government of our own electing is going to do anything like that? People, please. Quit burning down a car dealership. First of all, it's an American car dealership that employs Americans. Yeah, they're looking at cutting back. The Department of Education, why? We don't need it. Every state has their own Department of Education. Why isn't that good? Why do we have to have all these redundant departments? You got OSHA. Every state has their own version of OSHA. What, do we need one state? Are we one state with 50 counties? Because that's what it is when everything's run by the feds. Your governor, my governor, every other governor are nothing more than county execs. They run each state as their own independent country, though, don't they? Because that's the way we were designed to be in the beginning. The federal government had very little role. It had its role in keeping trade between the states. Virginia couldn't put a tariff on something coming from Florida, or California couldn't do the same to New York. And common defense of the United States. It's what we need to get back to. We need to get back to local government, because the closer the government is to home, the better off we are. Centralized government, this is too big a country. Doesn't work. When they first started Congress, our representatives, it was one representative for 75,000 people. Now it's one representative for every 750,000 people. Do you honestly think that that's enough representation in Washington? No, but we'd have to have, what, 1,500, 2,000 representatives? I'm just saying. And to the violent people who want to burn stuff, blow stuff up, be careful. Because karma, she's evil. She come back and bite you on the ass. You might go to key somebody's car or go to throw your little firebomb on it and get dropped. Somebody's going to pull a 9, a 45, pop your ass. To which I would say, oops, my bad. We got to put this, we need a psychic shift in this country. We need some healing, man. Where do we start? How about talking to each other? Talk to your neighbors. I live in a retirement community. There's people scared, oh, Social Security ain't going to be around. Well, the way it's been going since, was it Johnson? Took it out of its own little lockbox and put it in the general fund. And let's not forget Senator Biden sponsoring the bill to first increase from no tax on Social Security to 50% of it taxed. And then that same party increased it to 85% of it being taxed. Look at Washington State, man. They're going to hit you with every kind of tax they can. I'm glad I escaped that place, because you got one party rule there, and they don't care nothing about their citizens. We need to get it back in step. Seriously. Hey, if y'all got anything out of this, you know what to do. This is my rant for the week, I guess. I could do these every day with all the garbage that's in the news. I just don't have the time. Hey, got anything out of it, smash the like. Love y'all. Out.